Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, for day 3 of Everyday May, I thought we'd do a bit of a dressing room diaries looking for workwear basics under $200. So I went to the high street and I went to 4 different shops. I've got 4 outfits here, or actually 5 I think, that I wanted to share with you guys, starting with H&M, which was the first place that I went to. So I find that they've got a really good workwear selection when you first walk into the Pitt Street store on the right. So that's kind of where I make a beeline for before I go and look anywhere else if I'm looking for something good. The quality can be very much hit or miss, so you really need to feel the fabrics and also have a look at the composition as well. That's probably my biggest tip. So the first thing that I tried on that really caught my eye was a beautiful eggplant colored ribbed knit. Now this is a very similar color to the eggplant pleated skirt I tried on my last Come Workwear Shopping With Me video, which I'm going to link up in the cards. And this was $30, which I thought was incredibly reasonable for a workwear basic because it didn't really have any bells or whistles to it. It has this nice rib detail to it. However, aside from that, it's quite basic. It's a crew neck, long sleeves. It felt really nice to the touch though, which I like. Hand feel to me is something that is quite important, and it also felt a lot more premium or high quality than its $30 price tag. The fabric mix on this one was 76% viscose and 24% polyamide. I tried this on an Australian size 8 or a European 36, and I found that this was sort of a relaxed slim fit on me, and it actually comes down quite long. So if you have something that is high-waisted, you are going to have a bit of excess fabric. Now I tucked that into a Houndstooth skirt, which is a pencil skirt style, and what really drew me to this was the fact that it looked like it could be worn both ways. I've just worn it the way it's intended with the slit in the front in the video, but I actually think you could wear the back the other way around just because it was straight up and down, a very simple style. Now I like the fact that this was a very simple workwear basic. It's only $25, and I will say out of the 3 items that I tried on, this was the cheapest and also felt the least expensive as well. It didn't really feel very premium or high end. However, I think if you were looking for a workhorse piece, this does look like the kind of thing that you'd be able to wear for a very long time. This was a poly viscose and elastane mix, and I am wearing it in a size extra small. Now when I first walked into H&M, I made a beeline straight for this camel coat, and it just looked so beautiful. It looked like such a classic silhouette, which is something that I'm drawn to, and definitely where I think you should invest first when it comes to adding to your work wardrobe. Now this is actually from the Conscious collection, so 65% of the wool is recycled, which I thought was really cool, and it's a premium quality wool as well. This was quite expensive. It was $170, but I do think that the value is justified. It's fully lined, it's a nice heavy weight, it felt really sturdy, really structured. I thought it hung really nicely on the body. I'm wearing a size 8, and I really love the little tortoiseshell button details. That's something that I'm always drawn to. I think those details can really make or break an outfit. If you wanted to make this look a little bit more expensive, you could also change out the buttons for something else. The second place that I went to was COS, and I really love their streamlined minimal designs. I think I mentioned that in my last video as well, and I tried on 2 outfits here. The first one, and just ignore the fact that the sweater is $250, it's 100% cashmere, and I clearly didn't look at the price tag before I took it into the changing room. I just assumed it would be under $200, but I will say that this was a really beautiful knit sweater. The cashmere felt luxuriously soft. If you are on the market for spending a little bit more on a workwear staple that you could also wear on the weekend, I think that this is a very safe bet. I wore it as a sweater, which is probably one of my favorite ways to wear cardigans at the moment, all buttoned up and then just tucked in, but you could easily wear this worn loose with a pair of jeans as well. Now, and I wore that in a size small. Now the real winner for me out of this entire video, I think, aside from one other piece, was this wool skirt. It's in a really beautiful deep olive color, and I love how structured it is. The wool has a super heavy weight to it, which gives it a really nice drape, and I really like the way that it moves around the hemline. Now it is more of a scratchy type of wool to the touch. However, it does have a lining on the inside, so it's kind of a fabric back, so it means that it won't actually rub against your skin. And this was $175. Now I do find that COS sizing is a little bit on the larger side, so I am wearing this in the 34 or the Australian 6. And then the second outfit that I tried on from COS was this beautiful structured dress. Now I'd been in there browsing while I was waiting for Luke, I think, not too long ago, and I spotted this dress and I just thought it would be a really lovely workwear basic, especially if you wanted something that was more of a statement maker. Now the color is gorgeous. It's a beautiful oatmeal hue, and it has this really nice sort of seam detail down the front and also down the side. The thing that was hidden about it that I didn't realize until I took the dress off is that there are pockets. They're kind of positioned quite far back on the skirt, so you have to put your arms back a little bit further to kind of pop them in there. But I do love a dress with the pockets. I just think it was always really handy. The length is quite modest as well, being more of a midi length, which I think is perfect, especially as we sort of transition to those colder months, or if you're coming out the other end and you're coming from winter into spring, then this is also a really good length as well. I like the sleeves too. They have a slight flared effect to them, which I thought was really nice. Again, I'm wearing this in a 34 or an Australian 6, and it isn't super tight on me. It does kind of skim over my silhouette quite nicely. It doesn't feel like it's ill-fitting anywhere. I do actually like the way that it kind of fits and the way it lies on my figure. And this one was $175 as well. Please don't mind the lighting. I'm working with natural light. The third place that I went to was Uniqlo, and honestly, I swear every single time I go into Uniqlo, I see something amazing that I want to buy. It is probably one of the stores that I find to be the most reliable when it comes to good quality for a good price tag. So I tried on 4 items while I was there, and the first thing that I made a beeline for was this really lovely lamb's wool knit sweater. Now, I really like wearing sweaters like this in the winter time, and I do think that they can work really well even in a corporate office as well. The price tag on this was insane. It was only $50, which I thought was very reasonable considering that it's 100% wool. I really like the fit of it too. It's quite kind of a relaxed fit, crew neck style with sort of loose fitting sleeves. I'm wearing this in the size small, so if you wanted to kind of go for something that was a little bit more fitted to the body, then you could definitely size down. But this just felt really plush, very luxurious, and definitely felt like it was more expensive than its $50 price tag. I paired that with the Easy trouser. I think they're called the ankle grazer or something like that. You guys know I have a couple pairs of these. I absolutely adore them. I think that they are, if you're going to buy one thing from Uniqlo, you should definitely buy those because they are so easy to care for. They come in loads of different colors and they are really flattering. Plus they're easy to put on as well. These are only $50, which I think is incredibly reasonable, and I'm wearing them in the size extra small, which has more of a slim tapered fit on me. I have them in a small and an extra small at home, and I will say that the size small is slightly more relaxed. I do have a little bit more room around the waistband, but either or always works fine for me. If you're in between sizes, definitely go for the size up. Then over the top of that, now one of my favorite wardrobe additions from last year was my Elaine wool blazer, which I will link in the description box below, but it's not easily accessible for everybody. And when I spotted this blazer in Uniqlo, I felt like it was a dead ringer. It's a really good dupe. The silhouette is cut slightly differently. So this one has more of a fitted silhouette. It's cut closer to the body, so it's a bit less oversized, and it is shorter. So it doesn't have quite that boyfriend fit. It feels a little bit more tailored. However, I do think that this is a really good option if you do want something that has that same look but is maybe a bit more suited or appropriate for an office, especially a more professional or corporate environment. The quality of this is not the same as the Elaine one. I'm just going to put that out there because it is a wool polyester mix. The actual hand feel of the material isn't as nice, but it is fully lined. It has this really lovely striped lining, which I adore. It was one of my favorite features about it, and I think it fits really well as well. This particular style does come in other colors too if you don't like the herringbone, but I just thought this was a really beautiful option and a good reasonably priced dupe for the Elaine one. This one was $130, which I think for tailoring is a pretty good price, especially for something that is well made and that you're going to have for a long time. The final thing that I tried on at Uniqlo was a coat, and I have to say I fell head over heels for this coat. I think it is absolutely stunning. This was on sale too for $150, and I'm trying this on in the medium, and it is more of a relaxed oversized fit, but I actually think it works really well despite it not being my usual size. I tried on the blazer in the small, by the way, if I didn't mention that. I really love the color of it. It's kind of that khaki greeny brown color, which I think is really classic actually, and something that you could have for years and years. The quality of it was absolutely beautiful. I definitely think that it's more than reflected in the price tag. It is not lined though, it's a double-faced wool, and it is more of a itchier kind of a wool. So it's something that you want to make sure you've got other layers on underneath so it's not touching your skin if you're particularly sensitive. And it has these really long sleeves that almost kind of, I guess, balloon out slightly and then taper in at the wrist. They're rolled up, and I'm not sure if it was intended to be worn like that, but I actually really like the look. I think it kind of added to the whole vibe and felt very relaxed and casual, but also when you do it up with the belt at the waist, I think it just makes it look really professional, very tailored and put together. The final place that I went was Country Road. If you aren't familiar with it, it's a South African brand and it is probably one of those great go-to places, especially if you're looking for workwear. It is always really reliable. It's within that whole family of Witchery and Mimco, etc. And I always love going in there just to even find everyday basics for my wardrobe. And I tried on two things while I was there and they're both pleated, which is a major trend for the season. I'm going to be talking more about trends in an upcoming video. Now the top that I tried on was this beautiful blue pleated top, which actually has an elasticated band around the neckline and it's got a raw edge hem, which I thought that detail was very pretty. The sleeves are quite kind of voluminous and billowy. However, because the pleats kind of contract on themselves, it doesn't look too oversized or too baggy, which I really liked. Now I'm actually wearing this in a size 10 and it's bizarre because Country Road is generally quite vanity size, which I'm gonna touch on in the next piece that I tried on, but I found that the 10 was a nice fit on me. I actually don't know that I would have wanted it to be any smaller because I found that it was a really nice sort of a oversized fit, but perfectly proportioned or balanced in terms of my frame. Now this one is 100% polyester and the retail price is $160. Country Road often do flash sales though, or spend and save, so it's always worth kind of hanging out and waiting for one of those if you don't think it's a piece that's going to sell out quickly. The second item that I tried on was a skirt, and this one has a micro pleat to it, like incredibly micro pleat, which I hope is visible from the clips. Unfortunately, the color didn't really pick up that well in the changing room, but it is a really beautiful forest green, very similar to my LM bag, which you might have seen on my blog or in previous videos. I really like the style of this. It has sort of a wrap front design, so you'll probably see from the clip that I'm pulling it forward so you can see, but it is also fully lined and it zips up at the back. Now, when I mentioned vanity sizing before, I'm not joking. I'm wearing a size 4 in this, so that's an Australian size 4, which is the equivalent of a US 0, which is definitely not my size. Country Road tends to run quite large, so if you're on the petite end of the spectrum, then it's probably not going to be a brand that will work for you unless you're going for pieces that are a bit more relaxed or billowy rather than things that are tailored and meant to be slim fitting. At least that's been my experience. I thought that this was a really lovely piece though for the office because it does have that very kind of professional tailored look to it. Then it's also incorporating a trend. The playful print is really fun, but I think it's also a bit subdued and it's slightly reserved in a way as well. I think it comes down to that very classic pencil style skirt that isn't super fitted, but it does come down to the knee. So I thought that was lovely. That one is also $160 as well, and it is also 100% polyester. Not ideal, however, I do think they are really lovely workwear basics, and if there's something you're going to wear over and over again until they're threadbare, then definitely worth it. Just make sure that you're washing them in a guppy bag. So those are the 4 stores that I went to on the high street to go and look at workwear basics. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I am planning on doing another come shopping with me, probably just in general for autumn or transitional season basics. So if you have any requests or any particular stores you'd like me to go into, let me know in the comment section below. I've got a bit of an idea. I think it's going to be more on the premium end of the spectrum just because that's how I tend to shop. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this one and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you then. Bye.